What an awesome bull.
Another year has come and gone, and I found myself gearing up for my first elk hunt of September. This has quickly become the hunt I look forward to most each year. It's a simple, over-the-counter tag, but being close to home, I've been able to spend a lot of time learning these mountains and the behavior of the elk that inhabit them. The genetics are poor, and with heavy hunting pressure, the age class is just not there. Most guys are shooting any branch antlered bull that gives them a shot, and for good reason. Opportunities are so few and far between. A 300-inch bull is big on these mountains. A handful will hit 320 to 330, and 1 to 2 bulls a year might top out above that. If anyone tells you otherwise, they haven't scored enough elk. Being a shed hunter, enjoying the observation, and simply being around these animals, I personally set a goal to take one of those upper end bulls each year. I'm okay with eating my tag if I can't accomplish that. I'd rather pick up their sheds and let the young ones grow another year.
Jumbo.
Odds are 10% success as an archery hunter, and much lower if you're holding out for a quality of bull that barely even exists. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the majority of elk spend their time on private property. With an army of hunters sitting boundaries and even crossing them, to put it simple, this hunt sucks. For some reason though, the extreme challenge has drawn me in. I've gained a whole level of respect for these elk. I'd put them up there as some of the most pressured, aware, and hardy elk around.
Well, it's 9 in the morning, and I just got to where I'm going to drop my camp. It's still early, and it's kind of cool on this north slope, so I'm going to go sit back here just for a couple hours in case there's any bulls cruising. I saw a 5-point this morning running a ridgeline, and there is a little bit of sign of elk in here. Not much. I don't think there's a lot of elk, but there's definitely been a bull in here rubbing around, and a couple cows. So I'm just going to drop my camp here, come back later midday and set it up. Well, I just got my camp set up. It's a little afternoon right now. Pretty sleek, minimal setup. Nice for the hot weather of September now, but August through September. We've got a bug screen. So the hammock is fully enclosed. You come in from the bottom of the hammock. It's pretty neat. It's Velcroed bottom. And then as soon as you lay down, it cinches shut. And you're laying down in there. There's actually quite a bit of space. It's a pretty cool hammock setup. And this is where we're gonna camp, living with the animals. There was actually a 4-point buck bedded right here when I came over to set the hammock up. And the elk hang out anywhere from above me to down below me. Not sure quite what to expect. There is some sign of elk, but not a lot of sign. I think they're gonna definitely wanna head to water. And there's some water south and north of me. So I think if I could get in between the two waters tonight and sit down, maybe around 3 o'clock, I might have a good opportunity. And then obviously I'll listen tonight for bugles to try to have a lead for the morning.
Seeing very little sign and hearing no bugles, I decided it would be a better opportunity to make a push over to where I had a tree stand set up over water. With the warmer temperatures, it was no question elk would be wanting to go to water daily. Plans for the tree stand were quickly spoiled though, when an unusual sound came from below the tree. I looked down, and right below me, a mom with 2 cubs came walking up to the water. They laid down just 20 feet away at the base of my tree. After a quick nap, they were up and moving at first light, playing, splashing in the water, and enjoying the cool morning. I can't complain though, as this was probably cooler than having an elk come in. I sat back and enjoyed the show.
There we go. Can't hardly see with my Peaks headlight on full blast. It's just foggy and like wet, rainy weather, but we're gonna go in, cruise in on the Baku. It's about a half hour from daylight. I wanna go check out where we left off yesterday. I just spotted what looked like a stud bull. Really nice, 6 point, at least maybe even a 7. I was just filming with my head camera. He's across the basin and they're headed away from me out of play. They're quite a ways away at this point. So the herd is going around this ridge, and I just saw this other single bull come tearing it down towards them, so there's gonna be a fight over there. Be epic to be a part of that, because that bull was big, and whatever bull has the cows is probably big too. It's still storming. They were close at first light, but nothing I can make a play on. That's the battle up here. That looks like a good bull. I'll have to get that footage on my computer and zoom in on it and see if I recognize him, but that's a stud bull for up here.
After taking a closer look at the footage, I could tell it was a bull that I did have some history with. I call him the 7 point, or 1 ear. He's one of the oldest bulls on the mountain, and I've managed to pick up 3 years of sheds off him. There's a reason he's one of the oldest bulls up there. He knows how to play the game. I decided to stay a little bit longer and got an opportunity at a smaller 6 point. Nice for these mountains. But holding true to my goal, I decided to let him go and try another spot the next day.
I just found, sorry I've been running, I just found a giant bull stud. I got about 100 yards from him this morning at first light. But they decided to work uphill, so now I'm trying to catch up and cut them off.
With the bull only giving a few periodic bugles to let me know where he was, I had to play the wind and just move slow. I knew I was within 50 yards. The bull started pushing a smaller satellite bull to my left, and I could catch bits and pieces through the quaky trees. A 40-yard opportunity, but in these thick trees, I had no shot. Pushing the satellite bull to my left, the bull gave me one more opportunity as he came back to his cows at 35 yards. I pulled back and he must have caught movement and trotted uphill to join the herd. They didn't know what happened, so they didn't spook, but I now had a satellite bull in between me and the herd, and I couldn't move.
You guys probably want me to fill you in on what happened. I heard a bull bugling at first light. through my binos and caught a glimpse of him coming up and over this ridge. So I took off and headed him off. I could see his antler tips, and he's running around chasing the bull, putting his head up. He's running straight at me, so I just pull back. And he turns, and he has his head up, and he's starting to head towards the cows. Now he's starting to just kind of slowly jog. And I have to move to clear this bush in front of me, just enough. And he caught that movement, and it was enough for him to turn and jog uphill and into the trees. He never came out, and they finally just winded me and went up this steep, crazy steep hillside. So long story short, I didn't get the bull, and he's this awesome bull, and I had an awesome opportunity. I just didn't position myself like perfectly to where I could just shoot without having to move. Like, I don't know that I'll get a better chance than that at a bull like that up here. And I can't stay all day. I have to head out, so that might be it.
Following the close encounter I had that day, the rut action started to pick up. Each day, I was getting on bulls, either passing on them or just not quite having the right opportunity. Utilizing my bike where I could, I was covering a lot of ground. With the elk action picking up, my strategy was to run ridge lines, use my optics, listen in a distance for bugles, and then move in from there. These elk move so much during this time of year, every day can be different. Elk hunting can be so frustrating. You can be so close to bulls and still not have a shot. It almost seems impossible that you can get that close and still come out unsuccessful. On this day, I had a bull that's about as big as they get up here on these mountains, just 20 yards away. Unfortunately, he moved into an area out of play like those big ones tend to do, and all I could do was get some cool footage of him. On this day, I happened to look off onto a ridge way in the distance, and I saw what looked like a nice bull. I decided I'd hike in and check him out as he was in play and my best opportunity at the moment.
Yesterday was slow, but I glassed up 3 bulls this morning. One looked like a herd bull. The other 2, I don't know. The 2 went down, and then the big one went up with the cows. So I'm just gonna wait here about 300 yards away from where they went into the trees, so I have the wind good, listen for bugles, and then when he gets up, if he starts talking, I'll take off after him. So might be a good evening. It's a little warm today, but when that sun goes down, it's been getting pretty chilly. 1 hour till dark. But I'm set up for this bull, so we're gonna commit to this bull. See what he is, film him, shoot him if he's big. I'm ready though. I'm ready to run as soon as I hear that first bugle. Wind is still going uphill because we have some sun coming in and hitting us, but it'll be shaded in about 20 minutes. Alright, he just bugled. We're probably 200 yards from each other. So I'm gonna get over into this meadow and wait till I see what direction he's going.
Having two bulls in range, one to my left at 45 yards, and one now just in front of me, only 10 yards away, I held my breath and used the crest of the hill to keep the bull in front of me from pinning me. Both 6-pointers, but just not quite the quality that I was looking for. Despite how cool the situation was, I made the decision to pass on both bulls. Going off of what I saw that morning, there was one more bull that should be in there. With less than a half hour of legal shooting light, I heard another bugle come from the trees just down the ridge. Scurrying down the ridgeline, I caught movement in the Quakies, not far away. I couldn't believe it. It was an awesome bull. A no-brainer. The space between him and I was pretty open, and I had my head camera off of my head while I was filming the bull. Self-filming a hunt is extremely difficult, but I knew this was my only opportunity and I wasn't going to let it go. The bull stopped as I pulled back. I settled in on him and let the arrow go. As my arrow ripped through the air, making its way to the bull, he spooked enough to move as the arrow connected with him, high and back. My time was draining, with a million thoughts running through my mind. The one that stuck out was I was not going to lose this bull. Thankfully, a small raghorn eased the mind of my bull, and he stopped just 30 yards away from him. Dropping all of my gear, I ran straight at the bull. I got to 35 yards, and he must have thought I was another bull as he bugled in my face. It was just too thick in the trees though, and I had no shot. The bull grew wary, spun, and ran, and I knew my only chance was to match this bull stride for stride and chase him down. In a full sprint, hurdling logs, pushing through brush, I raced to the next opening a couple hundred yards down the ridge. It was a small meadow and a slim chance that the bull would go through there, but it would be my only hope. I sat down at the edge and ranged 60 yards where I thought the bull would come out. Perhaps it was fate, but outstepped the bull. He was walking to my right and had no idea of my presence. I drew my bow back, now in the last minutes of light, possibly seconds. I settled in, told myself, relax, make this shot count. I released an arrow, assuming at 60 yards. and the bull took off, running to the next patch of trees. Chasing after him, and now pretty much following sound as it was pitch black in the pine trees, I heard a crash coming towards me.
I just dumped an awesome bull. I was hiking out after passing on the 2 bulls. This bull came down the ridgeline. I knew there was a bigger one in here. I videoed him for a short minute. He stepped out. I was at full draw. I had to have my head camera down because I didn't have it out. I hit him in the guts. So I ran up to him and he bugled in my face at 30 yards. But I had no shot. So at 30 yards, I had to back out and come around. I came around. He spooked. And then I just ran as fast as I could downhill. And I ended up cutting him off. I'm not joking you. It was at the last possible bit of light. I just guessed at 60 yards. He took off running, and I don't have my headlamp, so I ran with him. And I'm not joking. I hear a tumble coming down the ridge. And I look up, and the bull is rolling dead right to me through the pine trees. I watched him take his last breath. Unreal. I thought I was going to lose that bull, and I was going to be heartbroken. And it got me another shot right at the last possible bit of light. Oh, I cannot believe it. What an awesome bull for this mountain range. Oh, thank you, big guy. Look at that. Giant animals. Goodness. Look at this. Looks like an arrow, or I'm guessing an antler tine right there into his neck. Pretty dang tough animals. I mean, look at that immense size of a body. Thank you, big man. Oh, such crazy cool creatures. Look at that aspen sap, aspen on his antlers. Here he is. Wow. What an awesome bull. Unbelievable. I've worked so hard trying to keep track of these things and getting on them. Failed attempts, and this is my second bull with a bow. And I'm pretty sure my best bull yet. He's gonna be bigger than my other one. Unreal. These over-the-counter bulls are just so dang wary, and I just caught him on the right day with a couple other bulls in the area, so he's a little off guard, and made it count. So appreciative of the opportunities that I've had to hunt and the time. This is a dream come true. A lot of work. He's even got that cool 7th in the back, but giant thirds, great fronts, good royals. Unreal. Thank God I was able to catch up to him and put another one in him right at dark, like the last possible light. We got quite a bit of work ahead of us, so just me up here. Thank you, big bull. finally to the last stretch of the hike. I shuttled meat and got it like a third of the way there. Went down, got Connor. He came up. We got that meat down to the truck, and now the last stretch right here with the head. It's been a crazy adventure, and we still have more hunts to go this fall, so still plenty of action. But hunting elk, it's something special in September, like watching them go crazy and having experiences like that last day when you catch them in the moment is pretty epic. Kind of bittersweet that it ends because it's so fun to hunt these things. But we're gonna go get it on ice and at home and rest up. On to the next one.